Oh my goodness gracious. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are on the, it's not even a fire escape. Normally in New York City I say we're on a fire escape. This is an actual balcony.
Yeah.
Alex Hartman is my guest right now, and I have to tell you the joy that I have in this moment. I have we've been friends for years, but I travel constantly for comedy, and on social media we're friends, and I get to see you all the time on this lovely balcony. You're drinking morning coffee. I have been out on this balcony. We're in New York City at Alex's apartment, and this balcony, I have a special place in my heart because when I'm homesick and I'm on the road somewhere, I see your photos and it just makes me happy. It just makes me, so here we are. We decided for tone and for background city noise to actually record out here. So we're going to apologize real quickly to anyone who's having sound issues. I don't think you should be. We're on the mics. You can hear us, but I thought it would be fun to have New York in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Hartman. Hey, that's just me clapping for you.
That's perfect.
Alex is not only one of my favorite people on the planet, but a dancer, which I think is beyond amazing. As a stand-up comedian who can barely tie my own shoes, I met Alex a few years ago, and she was in a production show in Hawaii where I was also performing. Well, let's get to how did you start. Let's start at the beginning. How do you become a dancer? Are you born knowing you love to dance? Were you dancing in your living room at age 3? Where you're putting on shows for your parents? Were you? Yeah,
I mean, I started dancing when I was 3.
Oh, literally, I nailed it.
Yeah,
3 years old.
Nailed it. I started dancing when I was 3, but my parents wanted me to be like maybe well-rounded a little bit. So they tried putting me in like t-ball and soccer. I'd struck out of t-ball. I struck out. Like I couldn't.
It's sitting on the tee and you couldn't hit it?
I couldn't hit it. So they were like, maybe crazy. Not. Yeah.
So not athletic, yet a dancer.
Yeah. And then soccer.
That's hard to do, I would think.
It is. It's hard to do. I mean, dancers are athletic, but I don't involve a ball. But yeah, so I was like doing cartwheels in the soccer field, and they have it on video, and like picking flowers and like bringing them over to my parents. They're like, go play. Go on. I'm like in the camera. But yeah, so I started when I was really young, like doing dance recitals, and
you've sort of described yourself though in the past as a tomboy to a degree, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Especially now, like in my older years.
Yeah, now that you're washed up.
Yeah, totally washed up. Yeah, I'm not like a girly girl. I just don't really, I don't know. But yeah, I did dance recitals and like recreational dance classes, and then I went to a competition studio, so I did competitions when I got older.
What kind of competitions?
They're like studios bring different routines.
Okay.
Like there's like small group jazz, large group tap, musical theater, ballet, lyrical.
And I was gonna say, is that part of it? I once dated a dancer, and I remember there was like felt like 6 or 7 kinds of dance that she was going to school for. There was tap, jazz, modern, like all these. Is that when you excuse me? When you start? That's what you're supposed to do. Then you're supposed to like.
Well, if you're in a competition studio, it's like you just do all of that. Like everyone has to take ballet, and everyone has to take like technique classes, but then.
Which one's the hardest?
Oh, it depends on your style. I feel like everyone could say that, well, I don't know about everyone, but I think ballet is extremely difficult.
That seems really hard.
It's so hard, but it's like essential.
And it looks like it hurts.
Yeah.
Toes, right?
Oh, like points? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you bleed and everything.
Yeah. But this girl I dated had banged up feet.
Yeah. Oh, they're not cute.
Yeah.
Not cute. But yeah, you end up doing all the styles. Like I learned, and you have favorites, and you excel at different ones at different times, and depending on like what your teacher specializes in. Like I became really good at tap really early because she was such a good tap teacher, and like then I had a teacher that was like contemporary, which is another specific style that's became popular like when So You Think You Can Dance started.
Well, so that strikes me to a degree kind of like comedy then. I mean, there are different things. You can talk about different things. There's political, there's relationships, there's dirty, there's clean, there's and it sounds like you dive in, you do it all and find what you like the most or what you're best at.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it also depends on like city to city, everything's so different. Like you come to New York and it's like theater. You know, musical theater for obvious reasons, but then like in LA it's very commercial, which is also in New York, which is nice because we can have so much variety, but LA is very commercial and like hip hop. Yeah, you don't really find like tap class, like a big like tap or theater community.
Okay, right.
In other places, but in New York,
is New York the center then for dance? I would think, as you know, with Broadway here, that seems to be kind of the home of dance. I mean, is there any?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like the center of theater because of
which by
Broadway.
default also has a percentage of dancers.
Yeah, I mean that's why I came here. Which is, it's weird because I went to a school that kind of breeds Chicago performers, just because it was so close to Chicago. But
and you were born and raised in Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm proud of it. Cubs fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've been to a game.
For someone who can't hit a ball off a tee.
I'm wearing my pretzel sweatshirt right now.
I see
it's
that.
My high school mascot.
Is that right? Freeport pretzel?
Oh, yeah.
It's a great sweatshirt.
You can eat us, but you can't beat us.
You got the cheers down at least.
Yeah. I'm just feeling salty now.
But now you went, it was not long ago, you were at a concert and you had posted, it was the funniest, maybe
Perry?
Instagram, and you were doing, by the way, just legendary. If you want, we can plug your stuff on this because you have some of the funniest posts, but you had it literally. I watched like 1,000 times your little, what do you call it, the Instagram?
My story.
It's just the funniest thing, and but you were and there were some serious dancers getting at it, right?
Oh yeah.
So is that the goal?
Yeah.
Do you want to tour
I would
with?
love to do that kind of stuff. That stuff is more LA. So I don't get the opportunity to audition for that kind of stuff really here.
Okay.
But yeah, that'd be sick.
That would
be a sick gig.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite things is you, as we all have to at time to time, hold down a day job here and there. You were doing a gig, and you guys had a Christmas party or some sort of event where you decided to get up and bust out and show the people at work. Didn't you? Were
Wait,
you?
What? What did I do? What did I do?
I wasn't there. No, you posted this online, weren't you? Didn't you have a job? Yes. And you're like,
yes. And we had our holiday party.
Yes, your holiday party.
And we won a prize.
And you guys just cracked. I mean, you guys were good, everyone was like, "What the?"
We rehearsed.
That's the girl.
We rehearsed.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we
you don't have to tell me that. All right.
Yeah, we got serious.
So fast forward, you decide I want to be a dancer. How do your parents feel about this?
Oh, they're, I mean,
supportive?
Luckily, they're super supportive. Yeah, my dad's a musician.
Oh, that helps a lot then.
Yeah, he's a guitar player. And he and my mom moved to LA, like, back when, in their 20s.
Pre-you?
Yeah, pre-me. And my dad was in a band, and they had a one-hit wonder, and, like...
Oh, really? May we ask what the song?
Oh, yeah. So their band was called Conductor.
I didn't know this. Okay.
And then the song that hit the charts was called Voice on the Radio.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. But I actually found a record of their album, like their actual record, and I got it from my dad for the holidays a few years ago.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, so they moved to LA and did that whole thing, and like, so my parents really, they understand what this world is to an extent.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's evolving, and it's New York, and it's like their kid and not them. So like everything.
They're protective. They want you to be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but they get it, which is really nice.
That's
and my dad
nice.
Still pursues music. He's in a band.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's always been in a band, like since I was little.
I love it.
Yeah.
How cool! And I think that just keeps you young too.
It does.
Just like That's
I mean, he's up later than I am, and I'm like, what are you doing? Dad, go to bed.
Now, speaking of, we have had, you and I have had some nights out in New York
We
City.
have.
Speaking of late
Oh,
nights,
so they
and
say.
yes, we've had some fun times.
Oh, man.
How was the adjustment for you when you grew up in Illinois, the
Yeah.
suburbs essentially, where things are
Less than that, like smaller. Not smaller.
That's my sense, right?
Yeah.
It was a small kind of
We
quiet.
just got a Starbucks last week.
You just got your first Starbucks.
Yes.
Wow. See, there you go.
Yeah.
And now you're in New York City, and it
Yeah.
was for you. What was the adjustment? What was your?
It's so strange. It's like, it's not many people leave my town and like to a city. A lot of people will leave and go to other towns, like suburbs, or you know, we're familiar with Chicago because we're pretty close to it. But
Okay.
like moving to New York was like weird for me to do, and just like I did it sort of spontaneously. Yeah, it's so strange because a lot of people will say, like, I've always known I wanted to be a dancer and I've always known I wanted to move to New York, but like I don't think I really knew that. Maybe, but it doesn't. I don't know. I can't remember, but yeah, it was definitely an adjustment. But I'm such a roll with the punches kind of person, and like, I mean, my whole life no one took me seriously as a dancer or like a performer, so I was always just kind of like, whatever, like I'll do my own thing, like I love doing it, why not?
Yeah.
So it was like moving to New York, it was like, oh, this is really expensive, and like this is really hard, and my apartment is really small, and I was like, okay, here we go. Like I like was doing an internship at this artist agency, and I didn't like it, but but I mean that's like why I came here, and I was like, okay, I need to get a job. So I worked at a shoe store, which was
really
terrible. Yeah,
I didn't even know shoe stores still existed.
Yeah, they have that one on Madison Avenue. It's terrible. Yeah, but I just like kind of totally rolled with it. Someone was like, you should try being like an extra on TV shows, and I was like, okay. So I did that for a while, and like, yeah, and so I started doing a few TV shows.
You were on NBC, the Red Nose thing. I remember.
Oh yeah.
It was not long after we met.
It wasn't.
That
was right after I got back.
Yeah. You were on NBC. They had dancers, or what they have?
Yeah. So it was like a 24-hour dance-a-thon.
Okay.
It was Red Nose Day. Nick Cannon was the host of it, and so he was dancing nonstop for 24 hours, and they had different dancers come in.
Right.
And different performers come in, so they asked this dance company that I'm with, it's called OK Dance Company.
Right.
It's like a mostly tap, so they asked us to come in, and we did that thing, and then we stayed after and danced for like 45 minutes with Nick Cannon after.
I love it.
We didn't know we were gonna do that. We like took our bow, and then we were like, peace, and he was like, stay here. He was like, please stay here.
For the love of mercy, please
he
stay
had like
in
no
there.
voice at that point either. I'm like, oh god.
And now, one of the interesting things that you've kind of fallen into, I guess, here in New York, is you are a magician's assistant. Is that the right? Is that the right title?
Yeah, it
okay,
is.
am I saying that correctly?
Yeah,
All right,
totally.
magician's assistant,
Yes.
which I find fascinating. We have a mutual friend, Charles Bach, who's also been on the podcast, by the way.
Charles.
I'm a fan. As they always say in comedy, there's a connection between comedy and magic. There's, in fact, tomorrow I go to LA and I play at the Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa Beach, and it's literally named the Comedy and Magic Club. And so Johnny Carson historically has loved magic in his life. He's always loved watching it, and I have a certain fascination with it as well. So I am particularly interested to hear about your experiences, because you are the person up there. You're not the magician. You're the assistant. So you know what's happening. You know you're. Are you getting cut in half on stage? Are you the?
No, but he's working on that one. He wants to put that one in.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do a couple different tricks and illusions in the show. This show in particular is really cool just because it's not like a stereotypical magic show, you know, where it's not like kitschy, it's not flashy, it's like I mean, the room only seats 72 people.
Oh, wow.
So it's super intimate. It's in this small ballroom, essentially, at the Nomad Hotel. And so it's super intimate, which is great because then there's a lot more opportunity for people to be involved in the show and, like, volunteer, and it's all up close.
Oh, wow. So,
You know?
yeah, that would seem to change the dynamic of a show, because
Yeah.
versus a theater where you sit back and watch. I just actually
Yeah.
saw David Copperfield
Really?
in Vegas, yeah.
Oh.
And it's, obviously a very, sit back and watch him do his thing, although he does
Yeah.
come into the audience a bit. But yeah, this sounds like a more intimate space.
It's all, yeah. And one of the illusions that I am involved in with Dan is in the middle of the room, like surrounded by the whole audience.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so
and
it's like you can't
fake it.
No, you can't hide anything. It's like you're completely surrounded.
I will never ask, because I'm gonna come clean here. I actually, growing up, thought magicians were actually magical. Like, I actually thought they had special powers that we didn't know about. And then maybe I shouldn't be saying this because I know we're supposed to think that. But then you get older and you realize, oh, yeah, there's just a way of doing things.
Yeah.
But I find it remarkable. I am fascinated. Can you tell us about a trick? Can you tell us? I won't ask you to explain how something done, but
Yeah.
you're behind the scenes. You know how things are done.
Sometimes.
How does that go? And how do they teach you? And how do you practice? And then how's it the first time you do a trick? You're like, holy cow! I'm live on stage now, about to do this.
Yeah.
Is it nerve-wracking? Are you terrified?
Luckily, I don't really get nervous about things, which is just lucky because, like, in
All right.
excuse me, in magic, it's like more so for the magician, obviously, but you can't. There's no time for, like, a shaky hand or like a mind. Like, there's just no time for that, or else, like, you're gonna maybe show something or. But let's see, we just put a new trick into the show last week, and it's interesting because, and I'm involved in this one a lot, like on stage, which is the first time and the only time in the whole show until the bow that I go on stage. And so we put this trick in for the first time, and it's interesting because in a magic show, the audience is so imperative. You have to have them as part of your, like, okay, what am I trying to say? In theater, we rehearse and we rehearse and rehearse and rehearse until it's like, I need an audience or I'm going to go crazy. And then in magic, you rehearse a little bit and you're like, okay, this is like the steps I'm going to take. These are like backup plans. Here we go. Now we need an audience. And so that was kind of an interesting thing because we put this trick in the show last week and they're like, yeah, let's just do it. And so I was like, okay.
Really?
Okay, let's go.
We're just gonna.
Yeah, and so I was like, all right, I have like the stages of this trick, and I know where I'm supposed to be, and I know what I'm supposed to do, but, like, there's no such thing as, like, over rehearsing as far as I've.
Well, and one of the things that I've told you this before that opened my eyes to when we first met. We met in Hawaii. You were doing a dance show, a production show. I was performing stand-up, and one of the things that blew me away was watching your guys' schedule. It was the practice, the gym work, the rehearsals, the sound, the tech, all these things. You guys, it was a full-time thing. You guys were working really hard. And as a comedian, we
I know what your schedule was.
we tend to go, on the road and set our alarm for 7 p.m. and to make the show. And it really opened my eyes. I have to say, though, it was a really good kick in the butt because I was like, oh, wow. Like, there's probably a version of what you do in the comedy world. And I should probably be doing that. Like, get up and write and hit the gym and, do, like, there's a version of it. And it's one thing when you're in your 20s, which I'm not anymore. When you get older, it's like, oh, gosh, there's probably a real value in staying sharp and doing the things. But you guys, as a performer in general, as a dancer, how many hours a day do you spend on your craft? Between the gym, between working out, between dance classes?
It depends on the day, but, like, you have to take class. You have to be in class a lot.
And you seem to be.
I am. I try and take class every day, maybe like 5 days a week. I try.
And how does that work? The places you go and you just pay them $25 and okay.
Yep, and it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So
and
once
it's
in
a great
while,
workout and it's great training.
It's great, and it's networking too.
Yeah.
Because most of the time these teachers are also working choreographers, and so it's great to like understand their style and kind of jump in their body for that class and like sort of understand how they move and what they want.
Yeah. Who are the instructors? Are they? They're obviously talented. Are they working performers? Are they? Because I know people who teach comedy are not necessarily right. Sometimes they didn't make it. Now they teach a class.
Yeah. I mean, I take from a lot of different teachers, but like the theater teachers that I take from, who just they happen to be my favorite. They're also working.
Okay.
Like I take class from this girl named Carla, who's in Hamilton. She's great. I love her style.
And you've mentioned her
so
before to
much.
me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love her. Yeah, she's great. And I believe in what she's doing, and I love the way she works. I love her style, and
how does the class go? Do they teach you a routine? Or I'm sorry for sounding like such a rookie.
No, it's fine. So a typical class is you go in and do a warm up for. It depends on the teacher, but like anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes of a warm up.
Okay.
And then you'll jump into a combination for the last either hour or 45 minutes.
And how are your
you just
knees?
learn that. My knees. Oh, we have to dance in heels.
My knees are killing me, and I went down and just got something off the bottom shelf of the refrigerator, and I'm still feeling it. You guys, your knees must be insane.
Knees, hips, ankles, ribs, shoulder, everything.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Feet
we all have
up?
great chiropractors. We do.
Dude, I bet word gets around.
Oh yeah. It's funny because I'll be like, I have to go to my chiropractor. And then I'll say the name, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I go there too." That's mine. Yeah, we all go to the same person. He's the best. But yeah, so then classes are super important because you have to keep that up, and then a lot of people go to the gym or take classes like what is there? Body by Simone, Pure Barre, Pure Yoga.
Okay.
Like all those kind of workout classes that I should really take more of. They don't. I took a boxing class for my first time. Like,
did you
2
really?
weeks ago. Yeah, because my friend teaches now.
How did that go? As someone who can't hit a T-ball.
How did that go?
Yeah.
Well, the bag is really big.
I boxed in college,
it's hard to
actually.
miss
So
it.
I'm
really?
Oh yeah. So I know. Many years and many pounds ago, I was actually a boxer in college.
Oh my god.
But how were you?
It was good.
Were you
it was
hitting things?
hard. Oh yeah. I mean, it was just like a big punching bag, so I couldn't really miss
Getting your aggression out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did it feel good?
It was good.
That's a workout, though.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, you would think.
It's full body, and my arms were like.
It's exhausting. We had two minute rounds in college when I fought, and it was.
That's a long time.
It was, and there's a lot of rounds.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is exhausting. You can run I've run a marathon before, and it was
easier.
Have? Yeah.
I've not done
You don't have to sound so
no,
shocked. This was again a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, and it was easier than boxing. I have to say, it was boxing.
Oh my God.
Having your fists up and hitting things is exhausting.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a pacifist. It's too exhausting to fight.
Yeah. Yep. I feel you. It's the same way. I might not do it again.
Well, whatever you're doing, it's working.
Oh,
and
thanks.
I'm very proud of you and your success.
Thanks.
The final question that we like to do, this is the brand new question, actually. I've been looking for an ending question for these podcast interviews, and I think I just sort of discovered it because it's a question I've always loved asking people in life. And I think it's perfect for you. If you could do anything, if money wasn't an object, you were an absolute zillionaire, or it doesn't matter, money is no object, go anywhere, do anything, live anywhere, travel, whatever it is in this lifetime.
Yeah.
There are no limitations. You are allowed to do anything you want. What would your life be?
I would, since money is not a factor, let's just say I have all of it.
Anything you want.
I have all the money.
All the money in the world.
I would donate a lot of money to different charitable causes.
Okay.
There's this one charity called charity water that I think is really cool, and they provide clean, drinkable water to countries that don't have access to it, access to much water in general. And when they do find it, it creates like these tumors on their face, like, you know, makes them so sick and they die. And like, so yeah, I would love to donate to charities like that, that are a little bit less known. Yeah, I just like to give people things. I do that right now. I sort of live a life like I pretend like I'm kind of rich, and I'm not at all. And so it would be really nice to be able to do that, and that would also involve traveling, because I love traveling. I would love to see every place in Europe and Asia, and I really want to go to Africa, and I would love to see all of these places that are less known, not touristy, and figure out like ways to help.
How can I
there.
help?
Yeah.
I love that answer. Wow. I love that answer. Thank you for being part of this. I ask if as a dancer, is there anything that we do as we end? Is there a greeting or a hello or an ending? What do you, as a dancer, is there a phrase that you?
Yeah, we actually say merde.
What is it?
Merde.
Merde?
Yeah, which means in French. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just a thing. Like,
well, merde it is.
Merde.
We'll talk to you soon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh man.